Hi, English 9 students, Professor Dean Ramser, determined dean, and I'm going to make a sort of introductory video at the beginning of the week. This is week 1, and then also make one at the end of the week that will be used for our end of the week discussion. So let's do a screen share. Take a look at the beginning of the course. So here's the beginning of the course. Let me check out student view. So this is what you should be looking at as you look at the course. And I set it up so that you have announcements, modules, NetTutor, very important for your feedback on your writing as you write essays in the course, the assignments, the discussions, grades, syllabus. Office 365 should give you access to some software like Word, which is very important. Google is good. Google is really good for a lot of things. I found the challenge with Google and making a document MLA formatted is that when you switch over from Google to a PDF or to a Word, things get moved around. The spacing between the lines isn't exactly correct, and sometimes the running header at the top right of the page isn't really formatted. So I think using Word is the best format for this course to begin writing your essays. So and then we have the Tech Connect Zoom, which is the link I'll be sending out every Friday morning or so to have sort of an online discussion about what's happened in the course that week and where we're going. And we also have a link for the library and valuable resources available to you as a student, which you can use for writing your essays and doing research for your essays. So I'm going to leave the student view right now. Let's take a look at the home page, course information. Start with important dates. This is provided by the college. The course began on the 12th. The last day to add a course, full-term course, is the 16th. Last day to add a full-term course with the instructor approval is the 23rd. Last day to drop a full-term course and receive a refund is the 23rd of August. And the last day to drop a course and get a W is the 27th. Labor Day is September 2nd, no class on that day, but this is an online course. So these holidays really shouldn't interfere with our schedule too much. What else do we have here? We got Thanksgiving on the 28th and 29th. Again, the online course isn't really impacted by holidays, so to speak, because our assignments are due on Sunday, generally speaking. December 9th, we have the finals. Final week starts on the 10th to the 13th. And the last day of the course is December 13th. So those are important dates. We have links here for academic counseling. Strongly encourage you to contact your counselor. Just say hello. Admissions and records, disability services, invaluable. We all learn differently. We all process information differently. So reach out to disability services if you need additional help, financial aid. With that in mind, you never know. I didn't look at financial aid when I started college at 43 because I figured I'm working full time. I probably wouldn't qualify. So it wasn't until probably my junior year that I went into a financial aid office and looked into what kind of money was available to me. And I walked out with my tuition covered and I had to pay $50 for parking and that's it. So it's really helpful to sort of check it out and see what you could get. Again, I didn't think I was entitled to anything because I was working full time, but it turned out I was. So I joined a few clubs as well, and that's helpful. So that's at the end of that important date PDF. Here's sort of the syllabus. Now, this is the book I have, which is the 11th edition. I think it's very useful. The college did update the requirement to put the 13th edition. I have the 13th edition in a Kindle format, but the assignments I think are very similar, and we'll make it work. And as we go through it. If you have any challenge with the addition that you have in the assignment, reach out to me. We'll see how we can sort of modify the assignment to match the addition that you have. I think it's unfair that a student should have to spend $100 on a textbook that they're only going to use for 16 weeks and then have to try and resell it at maybe at half the cost or 1/10 the cost. So that said, use the edition you have. I have the 11th. It's a paperback. I think I bought it for $8 and $4 shipping. You can also get the ebook version of the 13th, which is what the college requires. And I think you can rent that for probably $35 or $40 for the semester. Certainly better than buying it for $100. So this is the syllabus. Let's take a look at. This is my syllabus, my dates, textbook. The assignments, essentially, it's reading essays during the week and doing a Q&A response to it, and also some writing exercise in response to it. And then you have essays written over the course of the semester. Being able to make a very valid argument is an important part of this course. So a good argument, something that has credible sources to back up your claim. Beware of things like logical fallacies and so forth. One of the ways to identify the logic of an essay is to read it aloud. I can't emphasize that enough. When you read your work aloud, you're going to hear the logic, you're going to hear the organization, you're going to hear the structure, and know if you're making sense in your argument. You may feel it, you may think it internally, right? It's all inside your head. You know all this stuff about this topic, but the words on the page must reflect the complex narrative discovery of that topic and how it's important and critical that other people understand that topic and why we need to learn more about it. So reading aloud is really going to help you hear the logic of your writing. Here's the course objectives, being able to identify good arguments, and we'll go over different kinds of arguments in the course. Be able to differentiate between opinion and knowledge, and what makes knowledge, what makes an opinion. Credible sources backing up your opinion makes it knowledge, or just saying I feel or I think is more of an opinion. And here's sort of an irony of the whole thing. A college professor who has been working in the university for some 20, 30, 40 years is able to publish articles without having a reference page or a works cited page, because they have so much knowledge that their resume, their CV, implies that they know what they're talking about, so they don't need to have any kind of citation. As a student writer, unfortunately, you must cite all your sources, all your opinions that you're including to make your argument. So your paper, your essay must be full of citations. Okay. So the course objectives, logical reasoning, what's a fact, so forth. Critical writing. Critical writing is being able to understand something for what the essence of that argument is, and not what your emotional response to it. So you got logos, logic, you got ethos, ethics, and you got pathos, emotion. So you can sort of understand a piece of writing by those three categories: logos, ethos, and pathos. Once you understand what the rhetorical structure of that piece of writing is, whether they're appealing to the emotional or the ethics or the logic, then you can sort of deconstruct what that essay is attempting to do, and how your response to it should identify the logos, ethos, or pathos in it, and what your critical analysis is of that piece of writing based on logos, pathos, or ethos. And fourth, okay, pre-writing skills. On the pre-writing, there's all different strategies on doing that. Word banks are great. Word clouds are great. I used to have scattered on my desk different drafts and different stacks of information I could look at. I have my printed out citations, my sources as well. And there's some online tools to help you with that as well. So check that out. There's a few that will take word clouds and then flip them into an outline. That's pretty helpful. So here you got rhetorical devices, and the rhetorical strategies that you imply in your writing, just like the rhetorical strategies implied or used in the pieces of writing that you're reading, really depend on the audience. So you have audience as a primary rhetorical context item. You've got purpose of the writing. You got the context, which is the 5 W's: when, where, who, what, why, and how. You have the stance or attitude by the writer about that topic. You have the design of the element, the piece of writing. How's it organized? Is it macro to micro, or is it micro to macro? Grains of sand to the beach, or the beach to the grain of sand. And you also have the kind of media, the kind of publication. A tweet is going to have a different rhetorical strategy than a blog, than a speech, than an interview, than a book, which is developed over years. Or an essay or an opinion piece that is written quickly and uploaded to an online media source to be published within 24 hours. So each of those media publications has its own rhetorical devices that are used because of the length of the writing, because of the kind of audience that could be reading, looking at that piece of writing, and because of what the objective is of that type of media. Social media has its own kind of agenda. Academic media has another kind of agenda, a different kind of audience. So all these rhetorical devices that you will be identifying in the reading that you do in this course, as well as the writing that you complete, is going to look at rhetorical strategies, rhetorical devices, and the rhetorical context, the audience, purpose, context, stance, media, design in the reading that you're doing. So moving on, and I'll repeat myself often because it's a lot of new information, I think, and you're probably not used to hearing it. So here's sort of the assignments. You got worksheets and activities. You've got the writer's reference. That's this book here, writer's reference. And this is the 10th edition. You have current issues. This is the 11th edition. I also have the Kindle version, the 13th. And these are the assignments. This timed exam is going to be done online. So I'll probably release the prompt for that timed writing at the beginning of the week on the December 10th, the last during finals week. And you'll have a few days to take 2 to 3 hours. Your honest, evaluation of that, and then submit it. And the reason for this timed exam is because in the CSU and UC system, you'll have a time writing exam in your junior or senior year to satisfy that requirement. And I want you to get a feel for what that feels like. So this is sort of a practice for that upcoming experience. Okay, rhetorical precis is something you should know how to do. The time writing tips is very valuable. The quote analysis, the outline, and the thesis statement. We'll go over those things as well. Let's see if there's anything on here. If you see something that doesn't make sense, certainly bring it to my attention and send me an email and I'll respond as quickly as I can. The grading's pretty standard. Here's the text. I had the 11th edition. The course now is the college is now asking that you use the 13th edition, but I think it's a shame that you should have to spend $100 on a book. When having the 11th edition should be fine. But let me know if the edition that you have doesn't match up with the assignments, and I'll see how we can make it work for you. Okay, more of the same information. My bio, if you're interested, I started college at 43. and got my doctorate in education at age 60. We've done some traveling last year. We were in Ukraine helping a new school get set up. Very cool, very cool. And we certainly want to go back to that area as soon as we can, which may be during the course of this semester. But since it's an online course, we can keep in touch. And here's the online evaluation system. Okay, what else is there? Here's the dates. Week 1, August 12th to the 16th. And the course is December 9th to the 13th. Cheating, plagiarism. Yeah, it's so easy to catch. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's you write your own words. Do your own research. You can certainly read someone else's writing, and I think that's okay. But be aware of your own voice. Make it your own. I had one college I worked at who the dean of the department really didn't like students to read each other's work. I disagree. I think it's really helpful. In my in-person classes, I'd have students work in groups of 3 or 4 and read their essay aloud to each other. Not only could they hear the logic of their writing, but the fellow students who were listening to their own writing could hear the logic and the style of that student's writing. So you learn a lot from reading. I can't emphasize that enough. But let's get back to cheating, plagiarism. Here they're recommending that you get a 15% score on turnitin.com, that constitutes an inquiry. I think one way to avoid that is when you have a quote you want to include, only use the words that you need. So don't quote the entire sentence or the entire paragraph. That's unnecessary. Only copy the word or two that is critical. Let's say, for example, I'll pull up, this is called Examining Persona and Intended Audience. I'll just read a key element, understanding an argument lies in thinking about the intended audience, how the author perceives the audience, and what strategies the author uses to connect to it. So if I'm going to quote some words from this sentence, I could quote, author perceives the audience, quote, end quote. And all the words before and after that quote, author perceives the audience, would be my own writing. Or maybe intended audience, quote unquote. All the words before and after that quote would be my own. And then I have the page citation. In this case, it's page 185. So I'd have, according to MLA, parenthesis 185 in parenthesis, period. I have the author's name. In this case, it is these 3 people: Sylvan Barnett, Hugo Badu, and John O'Hara. So that's one way to avoid having a high percentage on turnitin.com, is just copy a couple of words from that sentence or from that paragraph. Okay, week 1 assignments. And I am using what this used to be a correspondence course, a non-computer course. So students would do their assignments and they'd mail in their work. So I'm using the same template. And I'm hoping it works. You don't need to print this out. I just want you to see it. These are the assignments and these are the points assigned to each of them. I'm hoping it works, that I can keep the same template, because I think it's very clean and easy to see what the assignments are for that week. Week 1, and it has 2 parts to it, week 1. And those are the total points for that week and all the different assignments for that week. So I'm hoping this works. If you have a question about it, let me know, and I'll respond as quickly as I can to adjust either the display of assignments or the assignment themselves. I'm hoping it works, but again, I'm taking a correspondence course where students are working without a computer and writing things and mailing it in and make it into an online course. So I hope it works. Let me know your thoughts and feelings. So that's for week 1, and essentially it should be the same for each week. You'll have some reading assignments from current issues and enduring questions. You'll have some reading assignments from chapters in the writer's reference. You'll have an online discussion board about what you've read. And then you have some writing assignments So that should work. Okay, that looks pretty clear. I think this is a discussion board. There's a diagnostic this week. Here's the prompt. This is very similar to the time writing exam at the end of the semester. In fact, this is one of the writing prompts that is used in the CSU system. And I just use it as a diagnostic. I want to get a sense of how you write, how you process information. So these are the words that are being used in the prompt, and these are the directions for this prompt. That seems to make sense. Again, if something doesn't make sense, let me know. Here's the rhetorical preces. This template is really valuable. I can't emphasize that enough. It's a way for the student writer to write succinctly a 4-sentence summary of what they've read and how they're processing this information. So think about the rhetorical context and the rhetorical strategies of a writer. So this rhetorical preces is designed to help you do that. And for some reason, it's not opening. So let's see what it is and why this is happening. Can't open it. Good to know. Okay, so let's edit this. And I'm going to add same problem. So let me edit this again. Oh, there's something on that. Interesting. Okay, so there's a software thing on my end. So let's see if I can open up. Open to another format. Okay, so I'll figure out what the problem is with the software. It's a 4-sentence template, the rhetorical preces. The first sentence introduces the author and the title of the work, and what the argument is, using a rhetorically active and accurate verb. Here's an example. Of a rhetorical preces. It's pretty decent, I think. Stop share here. Go back to screen share, make sure that you can see it as well as me. Okay. Here's another example. And you notice how both examples work. The first one says, in her article. So the first 3 words tell us that there's an article, an essay. The author is female. That could be important or not. And there's something inside, contained within the article that is of value. And then you have the title, parentheses, and the publishing date, 1997. Another one says, from Margaret Woodworth. So we have from, so it's a reference taken from, that there's a quotation mark implies it's an article. And again, you have the published date, 1996. So those are both decent examples. Here's the template for one. Here's a sentence. Here's the template for the second example. There's a third template example, fourth. So that's pretty good. I will make this a PDF copy and upload this. Okay, so let's go back to this page here. See if I can edit this. And I'll find out why that document was not opening in the okay, so there's more challenges there. So let me do a link. And I'll find out why. I'll find out why it's not opening. I assume it's okay. So let's see if this saves. Go here. Okay, so that works. Okay, I'll find out why it's not opening. I assume it's on my end. that, because I'm noticing on my bottom toolbar, there's a challenge with files. So there could be some sort of background upgrade. So that's rhetorical precis. So sorry for the well, piece of unnecessary extra information. So the rhetorical precis is a 4-sentence template. You're going to be writing it about these 3 essays, which are in your book. And you can also, you might be able to find them online. I'm not sure. Let me do a little editing here. It should really be 19, and this really should be without PP. And the same thing here. That's Emily formatted. APA Chicago may have a little different way of citing a page number. That's for week 1. Okay, let's see what the next assignment is. This is the icebreaker. You've been working on that. Week 2 assignments, essentially the same as week 1. But we have essay 1 assigned, which is thinking through an issue with 2 outside sources. It's about 1,000 words in length. And thinking through an issue is a section in chapter 1 of the book, current issues. It's also in the 13th edition, which I looked at, and I actually posted a video about. So those are the assignments so far. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'll try and post an intro video at the beginning of the week, and then I'll post a video towards the end of the week on Friday usually to summarize what has happened, and we'll discuss that in an online Q&A check-in format for Sunday for each week. Friday, we'll also have that sort of Zoom discussion session, usually in the morning, where you get a chance to hop on and ask me a question. It is recorded, but I will post that recording as well, and we'll use that as a discussion topic for our Q&A check-in at the end of the week. And that concludes my intro video. Thank you so much for your time. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm here for you. I'm a mature student. I started college at 43, got my doctorate at age 60. So I have some empathy for those that are starting college late. Anyway, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.